2021 is the year of the rescheduled wedding. Orders for save the date announcements have more than tripled since last fall. Here's Tiffany Craig.
Jessica, do you take Mario to be your husband?
I do.
After postponing twice, Mario and Jessica Gamez are finally husband and wife.
Amazing. I mean, we couldn't be happier. We're so glad to finally be married.
A survey by The Knot finds that 70% of guests want to know the safety precautions being taken at the ceremony.
Follow your CDC guidelines, follow your local and state guidelines, and think about things you can do to make your guests feel more comfortable. Put that information on your wedding website. Let them know if you're wearing masks, if you're mandating vaccines. That will make everyone feel a little safer when they're celebrating.
With many couples forced to reschedule because of the pandemic, wedding planners say be flexible on venues and dates. Mario and Jessica tied the knot on a Friday.
I definitely reached out to all my vendors to make sure everyone's available on the same day. That kind of helped pick this exact day.
And instead of an international honeymoon, a lot of couples are doing a nano moon. That's a short regional road trip, since many destinations outside the U.S. are still closed.